Let's talk niches. The last video that I posted was about portfolios, different platform and different spaces of portfolios. And in that video, I asked you guys if there are any other specific topics you guys want me to cover or mention. There was this one comment that said, please talk about graphic design niches. So here we are talking about how to choose a graphic design niche. I think we all struggle choosing a design niche, especially when we are just starting out, because everything looks so glamorous. I remember loving poster design as well as animation when I was in college. But when I went to university and actually started to learn animation, it wasn't fun anymore because I thought it was way more technical than actually sitting and drawing the characters or cartoons that I was in love with at that point. So I shifted to illustration. Illustration absolutely took my breath away. And as you guys know, I still do illustration. As someone who's very logical and practical, I absolutely fell in love with strategy and the research side of design and found my way towards graphic design, creating logos, identity, even visual ecosystem for a lot of brands. So I would describe myself who has dabbled in all sort of design niches, starting out from, like I said, animation to poster design to illustration to graphic design in logos and identity designs. I've absolutely loved doing packaging design in university as well as in my career right now. I've also done photography, which has been nice. So how to choose a niche? How to choose a niche that works for you? Let's talk about it. But before that, let's find out what niche is. You know what? Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, what is a niche? Niche market in economics and the process by which... No. Hey Siri. How would you describe design niche? Your niche is the problem you solve. I don't know, it's just giving me a lot of articles. I feel niche is a specialty you choose in your field. I think all fields have different subcategories, subfields. I think the field of creativity has many subcategories, including photography, illustration, art, graphic design, and they also have their own subcategories, which is graphic design. You have categories like product design or packaging design or identity design and so on and so forth. As someone who absolutely loves experimenting, I think I can give you guys a bit in-depth explanation of what I feel niche is and how you can choose yours. So I started from illustration, animation, then I went to graphic design, logo design, packaging design, so on and so forth. There was this one topic that I've discussed with my mentor when I was just starting out. It was with Chris Doe on The Futures, Young Guns Season 2. We discussed about if I should be a specialist or a generalist. And I don't know how much of that made onto the episodes, but what we initially discussed was his take on being a specialist is way better than being a generalist, is being a T-shape. So know everything, but specialize in one, which I absolutely agree. But me being me, I just couldn't do that. We had a discussion on one of our calls if I should choose one field, and he asked me what field I like and gives me the most joy. And at that point, I said illustration, but most of the money that I earn is from branding and logo design. So he's like, no, you have to choose one. And I chose illustration at that point, and I did go ahead with illustration. But yeah, my love for branding just called me back to it, and I just never could choose a specialty. So even now, me and my studio, which is Me Studios, oh God, who chose the name? I did. Anyways, so me and my studio, we are a multidisciplinary studio. I absolutely love doing every single thing. This is not about wearing a lot of hats, and it's not at all in a negative sense, like, oh, you have to do every single thing. It's like, I love doing every single thing. Choosing to be a specialist and a generalist is a completely different topic. So the number one thing you can do is experiment as much as you can. The more you experiment in the creative field, the more creative you become. So when I say experiment, how can you do that? Create personal projects or concept projects. And I know you would say like, oh Maitreyi, we don't have infinite amount of time so that we can do so many projects. You don't have to. Do one project, just one. Let me explain on how you can do that. Pick fields that you think works the best for you. There might be a couple of fields in your head that you're confused about. Let's say my primary field might be graphic design, but I absolutely love doing illustrations as well as photography. Or you might be someone who absolutely loves creating websites, but you also like creating identity designs, or even packaging designs. So create one project which has all of these niches that you can choose on in the future as an experiment project or as a concept project. When you create these kind of a combined project of the niches that really entices you, you'll kind of understand which part or which niche you enjoyed the most when you were creating that project. So let's take an example. So you can take this as an example and make this into a project, a free brief for you. So whenever I'm speaking on a stage or taking workshop when it comes to design, this example is something that I always keep it consistent because it's a really foolproof example of how you can find yourself or how you can find which design niche you are most attracted to. So the example is of a coffee brand. I feel all designers or most designers, we identify as coffee lovers. So this works and fits perfectly. So when it comes to the logo design, identity design, or visual ecosystem design, you can create a strong visual identity for the coffee brand. That's your first niche. The second niche may be illustration. You can start creating illustrations for the website that you want to create. So there are two niches in one. You also create a lot of illustrations for their website with the website that you create. Like it can be a landing page, and it can also be like a shop page or contact page or something that you feel it's interesting to show off your website building skills. If not website, you can go into photography. You can also combine two of your niches together. So let's say if you're taking photography and your illustrations and combining it together. I absolutely love doing it. As you can see here, I absolutely love creating photography and illustrations combined pieces. It looks really nice, and these pieces kind of help me just experiment as much as I can. So just pick 3 niches that you would love to explore and start picking out references from Behance, Dribbble, even Pinterest, and see what kind of a style attracts you. You can start designing it not in just one style. You can choose a couple of styles for it just to see what kind of a style you like for the niches that you've picked. Talking about styles, I understand even that is a subtopic when it comes to niches, and I've seen a lot of designers talking about it. I might have a different opinion about having a style, so let's dive into that. So most of the times, illustrators have their own style. I have my own style as well. If you guys want to see, you can go onto my Instagram page and you can check out my illustrations that I've done. There are a lot of times where I do not use my style for illustrations for my clients, even though it is like a collaboration project as well. So I sometimes feel that my style will not at all complement the brand itself. I've done so many illustrations for UCLA Health Department. I've been doing it for 3-4 years now, and most of the styles I've kept it very simple with their iconic yellow and blue, and I feel that really looks good. There have been some times when I've done editorial illustrations for them and where I have kind of sneaked in my colors a little here and there, but not as chaotic as I usually go. But still, I feel having a style does sometimes help, but most of the time it will not. A lot of designers will say, oh, I am absolutely into very black and white, minimalistic, display font kind of a style, and I will definitely not go into any colorful styles. And some people also say I'm a very colorful style, very childish fonts and abstract shapes, and I will never go into the black and white side of the design. It's fine if you want to choose that, and it's completely okay if your clients are okay with it. But I feel it is our job to actually create what is needed for the brand and not get our own design into the mix of it, because we have to create for that specific client, for their need, for their branding and visual language, rather than telling them that this is my color scheme and this is my palette. If your client is okay with it, go for it, but no client wants to look like your other client. Trust me on that. So be professional and create an amazing, unique language for that specific client that you're designing for. It is our job to make them look as distinct as possible and not like my Instagram profile. I think you kind of understand what I mean. But when it comes to illustration and collaborative project, clients want to collaborate with you for that specific style. That is completely okay. And that's why artists and illustrators kind of go ahead and let their style define them when it comes to artistic approaches. But when it comes to design, very strategic and a research side of the creative field, I feel having a very unique style specifically curated for your design clients is really important and very professional as well. But let's say you still want to choose where your style lies in. I have been proclaimed on the internet or on the podcast that I've done that my style is very colorful, very abstract, and bold at the same time. And I absolutely love it. That is definitely my style. There have been times when clients have rejected me that I cannot take them seriously because they have not seen serious looking or corporate looking designs on my portfolio. When you see the other side of me where I'm not choosing to be very colorful or bold or abstract, that is the style most clients as well choose, because not all clients want to show themselves as casual or colorful. Especially corporate clients, they want to show themselves very monotone or very serious, and that should come into the design. So the branding that I did for AWS product day event is completely all out colorful, completely me, as you can see. And there's this other project that I've done called the Brew Factory. I absolutely love the muted tones. I absolutely love how it goes with each and everything. The monotone or the single family of colors kind of keeps it really interesting. If you have found one design style that you absolutely love, I would say increase the spectrum of the design style that you want to go through. So increasing your design style spectrum would definitely help you out. So right now, if you're choosing to be, let's say, black and white designs, black and white logos and stuff, start adding a bit color, start adding textures and patterns to it, start adding abstractness to it if you're very geometric. See how it kind of expands your horizon, see how it increases your spectrum, and you never know, you will kind of find yourself growing out of it or growing your spectrum in general. This will also help you find your design niche as well. When I was doing a lot of illustrations, I used to do a lot of realistic paintings as well as geometric illustrations. When I started to do minimal illustrations, I found myself creating logos, very minimalistic illustrations. And I'm like, what if I remove a lot of elements? It came out to be a logo. And that's how I started to find that I absolutely love doing identity systems, and I kept the colors going. But slowly I'm like, what if I kept it more minimalistic? I went to complete black and white and so on and so forth. And that's how you grow. All of this will definitely help you out when you're trying to grow in your career, which won't be like in a year or two, but 5 years or 10 years down the lane. When you want to be an art director or a creative director, this will definitely help you out, because at that time you will be directing many such designers who have different niches and different styles, and your job would be to get this one amazing outcome out of all these amazing creative people that are around you. So niche is something that interests you and makes you want to learn more in the future. Also, do not be afraid of experimenting. I think that's how creative people are made. So please do not be afraid on experimenting more. I hope this video was helpful, and as usual, please let me know if there are any other topics you would like me to cover, and all the best. Keep creating.